Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Speed Xfinity series here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. My name is Bob, and joining me in the booth, as always, is Joe. And Joe, we take a trip across the Atlantic to Scotland as the Speed Xfinity series tackles the road course here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. And Joe, this track is very, very unique, tight, twisting, turning, and it's going to be action-packed here tonight for these drivers.
Definitely. It also looks like it's super narrow, so passing is going to be difficult to say the least.
That is for sure, and it's a shorter track out of all of the road courses that is on the iRacing service. Only 1.25 miles long, so we're talking to a couple of drivers before the race, and they're saying this track's shorter than Darlington or any of your other 1.5 mile tracks. So there's going to be a lot of traffic for these drivers to try to maintain and weed their way through. And, you know, a couple other things to watch out for. That throttle. We're going to see here these drivers, when they take a lap around the track, they're in lower gears, low RPMs. So easy to spin the tires, to just kick the tires around and heat them up. And, you know, the best way to stay on the track, keep it slow, watch out for those elevation changes, and oh yeah, there's also a random stage yellow during the race that these drivers are going to have to figure out as well.
Yeah, because it wasn't a difficult enough racetrack to deal with.
Well, this is certainly going to be an interesting race for these drivers here tonight. And, you know, let's jump on board here with one of these drivers. We'll ride on board here with Colton Easterday as he's down the back straightaway. Heavy braking here into the corner. Down this long little back straightaway. And turn 9 has been the bane of a lot of drivers' existence. Fastest part of the track down to the slowest. Hard braking. And you saw right there the 60 got a little sideways on throttle. Want to try to do as best as he can to minimize that wheel spin as you climb up the hill, brake right around that pit exit cone, and try not to send it off.
Unsuccessful on that attempt.
But unfortunately, not going to work out for the 19.
He's not the only one. I think I'd watched, I think it was Evan Williams just catch air going off of somewhere in the grass that he wasn't supposed to So I'm going to predict a lot of yellows in this one.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a ton of carnage, similar to how we saw with the Red Bull Ring earlier in the season, where, you know, we're going to get a lot of off tracks, and I believe they are still doing like they did in Red Bull Ring. 17 incident points is gonna nab you a bit of a championship point penalty. It should be a loss of a couple of points if you get more than 17 incident points. So drivers are also going to have to worry about that. You know, it's not a full contact race or anything like that, but you got to be mindful of those off-track penalties.
Yeah, especially in such a narrow, tight turning track. It's going to be real difficult to try to manage while also trying to go fast and, you know, win.
Yeah. Oh, that little thing. It's not like they're racing or anything. But this is definitely going to be a fun one for sure. Tonight's race is the Aces Axes Grand Prix, brought to you by our friends at Aces Axes. You can check them out on YouTube, Instagram, and all the other social media places. They're a fantastic sponsor and someone you absolutely want to check out. And with them, with Aces Axes, they're all about the guitars and just sharing those and spreading music and smiles. And they do it through guitar reviews, interviews with touring bands out of upstate New York. And they even do photography of guitars in the wild, live on stage. And they just want to inspire and show off how many great ways the guitar is one of the absolute best. Just make sure you check them out. Like I said, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. It's Aces Axes. Tonight's race also brought to you by our friends at the Gold Octopus. You could check them out on Etsy, making some really, really cool things. Got to check those guys out. Denton County Carpet Cleaning, based out of Texas. Our friends at Mark's Pizzeria, upstate New York. And, of course, the man himself, the sim wrap guy. Make sure you get those paint jobs done and get that car looking great for your league race. And they say the paint scheme adds a couple horsepower, so definitely make sure you check out sim wrap guy.
It's more aerodynamic. Nice smooth paint.
Exactly. But take a look here. Just about 30 seconds left to go in this practice session. Ryan Shelton fastest on track. Reese Bogue only 4/100ths of a second slower than Shelton. Then almost a second back to Chris Darling and Martin Plute, as well as Stacy Hunter, Colton Easterday, Garrett Austin, Evan Williams, and the rest of the Speed Xfinity Series drivers. As we see Reese Bogue practicing pit entry. Coming down the long back straightaway here for the 81 of Martin Plute. I just love this camera angle. I wish I could use this camera angle for more corners, but unfortunately, after they get up the straightaway, you kind of lose them behind the rest of the mountain. That'll do it for practice tonight. 14 drivers were able to go ahead and throw a time up on the board. And now we've got qualifying action. Ryan Shelton getting ready to head out. There goes the 97 of Shelton. Let's follow him for his lap. He was the fastest in qualifying. As the rest of the field getting ready to come out and put some time up on the board. It's all about this last corner. You want to attack it, get a good drive out to give you a good run down this long straightaway. Hard braking. Good job getting the car turned in. Using that momentum. Trying to get the back end to snap around just enough. Man, 97 there caught air coming out of that chicane, Joe.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which turn is going to be the hardest, and I don't know.
I definitely think the last turn is going to be tough. Turn 1 is going to be really difficult as well. And that chicane too. So those are kind of going to be the 3 problem areas that we're going to see most issues. All for different reasons. I mean, turn 1 here is going to be tough because it's a blind turn. You have to turn in, and when you're there at the top of the corner, you really can't see the bottom until you're already in the corner.
That's the second person I've seen spin on that hairpin.
Yeah, let's take a look here.
That one was Days.
Oh yeah, we see the. You can hear the blah, 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 blah. That's the wheel hop that the guys were talking about in our pre-race chat as well. Looks like Garrett Austin had an issue as well, off into turn 1. Matt Allen has an issue, also into turn 1.
It's just that's a lot of horsepower in these cars, and it's such tight turning.
Here comes Chris Darling across the line. Shelton with a 5109, Bogue 5146, Darling 5163. Let's see what Evan Williams can do here after his first lap. He'll do a 54 and change. And, oh, big slide off track. And don't forget, Joe, if these drivers pick up an incident point in qualifying, that lap actually gets discarded.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be having the ride of their lives. They touch the dirt or the grass at one point.
That's that.
That's that.
As I see Garrett Austin fully in the sand.
Let's take a look. This is just after the chicane. Yep, just a little too much speed carried. Colton Easterday also has an issue. Oh, that is not where you want to be. As here's Reese Bogue taking his second lap. Did a 50.7 on lap 1. Is he going to be able to pick up for lap 2? Hard into turn 9. Brakes heavy. Good drive getting it out. The back end snaps just a tiny bit, but enough to push him up the hill. And that's Bogue actually doing a quick practice pit. And he'll park it right there. Let's see what Deus has to say. So far, P9 with a 55.18. That'll just about do it for qualifying tonight, as Reese Bogue is going to be our pole sitter for tonight's Aces Axes Grand Prix. So, Joe, let's take a look here at the starting lineup for tonight's race. Reese Bogue on the front row. Alongside him is Ryan Shelton with a 50.714. Row number 2 has Chris Darling as well as Martin Plute. Row 3 has Stacy Hunter and Evan Williams. Scott Leonard and Ryan Newman make up row 4. Sidarius Deus and Colton Easterday make up row 5. Garrett Austin, Jason Schue in row 6. Tim Branson and Matt Allen bring up the 7th and final row tonight. 14 competitors, so a smaller field, which means a fantastic opportunity for any drivers really looking to pick up some more points This is going to be a great opportunity for these guys to just kind of pop in and say, hey, I'm the one in charge. I'm going to pick up as many points as I can. And they're going to do it in style here at Knockhill.
Zach Austin in the chat. This is a tricky track, indeed.
That is for sure. As we're just waiting for the last couple of drivers to jump into their car. Actually, it looks like we're just waiting on the 80 or the 33 of Evan Williams. There he goes. He joins in. And now we're going to get ready. 43 laps here, or 45 laps rather, here at Knockhill. And Joe, we had mentioned it just before, but there is a stage break randomly that's going to be thrown. None of the drivers know when it is. Not even the race admins know when the yellow is going to come out.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, just toss your prediction on what lap you think the random caution is going to be.
Martin Plute says, "I'll give $10 to whoever can clean off the dirt, the dirt from turn 9." And right now, I think this corner right here is going to be the problem child for turn 1, or for lap 1, aside from turn 1.
I was going to say that hairpin. Everyone's trying to make that hairpin. I don't know.
It will certainly be interesting as the field makes their way down the back straightaway. Pace car getting ready to pull off. Singletary says lap 1 yellow.
I said the random yellow, not...
But we will certainly see Reese Bogue on the inside, Ryan Shelton on the outside. Pace car getting ready to pull off. Green flag in the air. We're racing here at Knockhill. A great start for both drivers, as they're going to have to brake hard into turn 1. Everyone slides off the track. 97 misses turn 2. Here comes the rest of the field. Everyone makes it so far through, as we see everyone minding their P's and Q's in the back as the leaders fly by. Garrett Austin jumps through the chicane. Meanwhile, out front, Reese Bogue getting ready to open up a bit of a lead on the 97 of Shelton. Through turn 9 and back up the hill. Heavy braking into turn 1. You can really see, you can get a good view of how much elevation change there is around Knockhill.
It's wild.
Here's the chicane there, and man, look at those bumps. Those turtles that you ride over, it just launches you if you hit them wrong.
Yeah. If the track wasn't hard enough going up and down, what, 20 feet, 30 feet?
Oh, it looks like we have our first incident of the race. That is going to be Matt Allen. Let's see if we can take a look to see what happened to this guy. It's the 127. Allen braking hard to get into turn 1. A little too much rear brake. It's going to slide him around. No damage. But now Allen back in quite a bit. No, getting word there's some more incidents. This time it's the 3 of Jason Schue. Heavy braking into turn 9. I don't know why it thought that was an accident, but That was just Schue letting the 127 go by. 15 of Ryan Newman is gone off track. He's back on and underway. Meanwhile, out front, we've got ourselves a great battle. Shelton trying to track down Reese Bogue. Feels like every single week, these two drivers are always connected. No, we've another incident. This time it's Scott Leonard in the 19. Brakes hard, gets on the gas just a little bit too hard. But we are back going. Looks like Colton Easterday also has an issue. Oh, him and the 12 come together. That'll send Easterday off.
That grass patch over there is really getting some action.
And that corner you see back there, that's actually the entrance to the rallycross portion of the track. Instead of turning left, they go straight and then take a dirt road cutoff. And that kicks them out to the backstretch. We've got a good fight brewing here for the lead. Another incident, this time Ryan Newman, the Mario Kart 64 machine.
Oh, and as you say that, another incident.
See, 15 locks him up, just goes wide. So no actual incident. As here comes Schue. Man, look at that speed. Just bounced the car off of the pavement. And, oh, gets sideways. As Schue has to gather it back up. We've got a bit of a cluster going on back here. Oh, the 60 gets loose. Little too much gas as 60 of Colton Easterday tries to get it back under control. He does, but in the process is going to lose a ton of positions.
Yeah, he wiggled out of that hairpin, tried to recover, and then just slid his way up the track for a little while.
Let's go on board here with Garrett Austin, or pardon me, Garrett Austin, as he goes up through the chicane, and take a listen at the engine. High gear, low rev, makes it so much easier to control. It's going to feel a lot slower, but it's not going to have you be tempted to really gas it up too much. As right there is going to be a big opportunity there for wheel hop. And don't forget, these drivers still also need to make one stop for fuel in this race. Pit window, the drivers were saying, was somewhere around lap 30 to 32. Hopefully the yellow comes out either before or after that. Preferably before, just to see if, what happens to these guys. And honestly, it'd be wild if the yellow came out sometime around now, where they'd still have to pit again, even if they did pit now.
Yeah.
Or is that just evil of me?
If it was around now, it would be interesting, because if it's about 30-ish laps, are people going to try to maybe I could just use this pit and just pull it off?
Yeah, and that's going to be the tough part, because I really don't think you'll be able to save, the extra 15 laps or so. 34 goes wide. I don't think you'll be able to save that much here. So I think if the yellow were to come out, they'd still pit, and then they'd have to take a splash of fuel towards the end, and trouble for our race leader. For Reese Bogue. Going into turn 9. Here comes Shelton to the inside. And oh, just a little too much gas for the 4. He's going to kick it sideways, but able to keep it going is the 4 of Bogue as Jason Schue pulls it down pit road.
He's pit realer.
Yeah, I think Schue is having a couple of issues with the car because that's the second or third time Schue has gone down pit road. Definitely not the night Schue was hoping for. As I know we've been talking about Shelton and Bogue racing each other real hard here. Another great battle on track between these two, Chris Darling and Martin Plute. They've been essentially attached at the bumper cover there as the 11-0 gets off track. He might have a slowdown where iRacing kind of deems that you've cut the track too much and you have to give up some time. And oh, we have some more trouble in the back. Here's this pack of drivers. Looks like 15 and Newman getting down into turn 9. Heavy braking. The 33 goes wide as well. Little slide. Oh, a hard lick there from the 60. And oh, the 19 somehow squeaks through.
That's got to be damage. That was a hard hit. That was a hard hit.
Yeah, let's take a look at that one more time, this time on board with the 60 of Easterday.
Who was missing a hood.
Let's see how that one looks for us. So here they are coming into turn 9. Goes wide to try to get a run on the 34. 15 gets sideways and nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, that goes back to that. It's a really narrow track. There's nowhere to evade, nowhere to run. You kind of just got to hope for the best as you slam on your brakes.
That is for sure. As Plute gets around Chris Darling. Let's take a look to see how that one worked. This is again into turn 9. Darling takes the defensive line around the inside. Plute goes to the outside. They both get sideways. That's a bit of a drag race down the front straightaway. And Darling just kind of let off. You saw the flames shoot out of the tailpipe there. And that's how Plute got around him. Meanwhile, we've got some lap traffic for the leaders to contend with in a very tight spot. Wow.
Was not expecting the lap traffic at lap 12.
That is for sure. Richard Monson in the chat saying Williams for the win. He's having himself a pretty good run here. Oh, Bogue gets in the back of the 97. Trouble. Bogue gets in the 97.
Yo.
97 cuts back across the track. Bogue goes off now. Chaos as the 19 stopped on track. And let's see if Shelton's going to return the favor. Little bump there. Down the back straightaway, this is going to be an opportunity for the 97 to get to the 0-4. Shelton turns that one out wide. Gets right to the back bumper of Bogue. Shelton sideways. 15 sideways behind them. We'll keep it here. Wow.
Man, talk about crazy.
That was wild. Let's take a look here what happened. As just that little tap sends the 97 sideways. And Shelton says, well, I'm already off track. I might as well try to pick everything back up. He does. Scares the 4 a little bit, but he's able to keep it going. And as we say that, some more trouble. This time with the 60 of Easterday. Hard braking into turn 9 and just a little too much rear brake, and that sends him around.
He's having a tough go of these first 15 laps. Having a little bit of controls out of these corners sliding, and then an unfortunate accident. Now he's missing the hood. Tough race for him overall.
Yeah, just a tough race for a lot of these drivers.
And Newman was just sideways or backwards.
Yep, there goes Newman there. A little too much gas out of turn 9. He's going to back that one up on the track, get himself going. Nope, he has an issue again. Now he's going to get rolling. Hot tires, not a whole lot of grip there. Bogue with a little bit of back end damage. Able to get around the 12. It is pretty crazy to watch these drivers go down that bit of a corkscrew, very similar to how Laguna Seca has the corkscrew. This is a bit of a reverse corkscrew here through the chicane. Look at these drivers catch air coming through there. Jason Schue heads back down pit road. Looks like Schue jumped to the pit, so his evening may be done. 17 laps into tonight's broadcast. It's the Speed Xfinity Series presented by the Gold Octopus for the Aces Axes Grand Prix. If you're looking to see where your favorite driver is, take a look at the track map on your screen. Reese Bogue is your leader. Got about a second lead over the 97 of Ryan Shelton right here. And then we're going to have to go a whopping 7+ seconds back to this guy, Chris Darling, who was having a pretty good battle with his teammate Martin Plute a little earlier before that. Stacy Hunter currently sitting in P5. Coming through the first couple of corners. Here's Evan Williams in 6th. Garrett Austin just behind him in 7th in that Gold Octopus machine. Colton Easterday currently P8, just in front of our leaders. Easterday just having a pretty bad luck race tonight. Lost his hood, got into a couple of different incidents. About to go a lap down.
Ooh.
As Bogue catches some air there. Let's jump on board here with Ryan Shelton as he's trying to track down the 04 of Bogue. This could be the corner he does it.
And now the question starts to become, who are going to be the early pitters?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they can make it now from here for the rest of the race. Do they come down pit road, sacrifice that, basically lose a lap, and say, well, I'm good to go now, and when the yellow comes out, I don't need to pit? Or are tires that much of a premium where they say, you know what, I'm just going to run, wait for the caution, pit the yellow, and go at it from there?
Yeah, really. What a crowd right now.
I was gonna say, watching these guys tap dance through a minefield is what it looks like. Shelton trying to make a move to the inside, can't do it. Williams sideways. As the leaders now set their sights on Stacy Hunter, who's in P5. Hunter has quite a ways to go until they're lapped. You know, last night, Total Nonstop Racing League was at Pocono for the Tricky Triangle. I think you can basically call this a slightly warped triangle. Though there are more than 3 corners here.
Just a couple.
Big battle for the lead. Shelton rather, to the inside of Bogue. They're side by side. No contact made. Bogue is going to hold on once again. 25 laps remaining. Another good battle brewing yet again for the 11 and the 81, but we'll keep it right here for now. As as Shelton rather, still trying to put some pressure on the 4.
Yeah, I mean, that 0.15 second is indeed some pressure.
Right on his back bumper. Can he make this move? No, a little bit of contact.
Yes. Slowly but surely, that bumper's getting a little bit more deformed as the race goes on.
Couple little taps here and there. Luckily, it's black paint on black paint, so it's not really too bad. In the chat, John Canizaro says, wait a minute, I heard Pocono. Yeah, we know you won last night. Great win there, John. Bit of a warped triangle here, the trickier triangle. Pocono's Scottish cousin.
Yeah, this is what happens when you leave Pocono out in the sun too long.
Can confirm we've been in the sun too long at Pocono. Now we've got another pass for the lead. Shelton to the inside. Oh, they make contact. Shelton sideways, able to save it. And now that's the gap. And oh boy, look at that gaggle of race cars behind.
Yeah.
As now Blue and Darling are going to have to fight their way through. Deus coming off a pit road. Darling goes wide. He's trying to get around the 60. He does. Now can Plute do it? They're almost 3 wide.
That's never where you want to be.
Oh, sketchy. Oh, Austin gets sent around. Well, we'll see how that one is going to go as this race ticks on.
I'm surprised there hasn't been any yellows yet.
Yeah, I think typically they like to turn yellows off here at road courses just because the laps are so long. So they're only going to do the stage yellow, which, by the way, the stage still has not happened.
Yeah, so we're what, halfway in?
Yeah, we're more than halfway in now, and it can go anywhere between laps 3 and 43 in a 45 lap race. So we are getting a yellow before 3 laps to go.
Yeah, you got to figure with these guys. At what point are they like, all right, I just got to pit. I can't wait for the random caution to come in.
Well, so far, Sidarius Deus is the only driver who has pit. But he is currently 2 laps down back in P12. So I don't know if that one is going to be the winning strategy as Darling goes for a ride. He's able to keep it pointed in the right direction, but there goes Martin Plute. So we'll put Plute up to 3rd. Move Darling back to 4th.
I know we haven't said much, but if you look at that P2 position, Shelton is catching up rather quickly to Bogue.
He sure is. Only 0.4 of a second back now to the 0-4 machine.
I wonder if Bogue was just kind of saving his gas.
Yeah, he might be just trying to stretch it out just a little bit so he could have to pit, you know, under the yellow. Shelton has been faster than Bogue over the last 3 laps. And if you see there, a couple laps ago, Shelton was 0.7 of a second quicker, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but in racing in general, 0.7 is a lot of time. Since then, they've ran fairly equal lap times, only by a couple of thousandths. This time, Bogue was faster by about 1/10.
Nope.
As the 19 goes off.
Whoa. Sheldon with a lot of air on that one.
It is so easy to get airborne here at this track. It's hard to recover after doing so.
That's fair.
As we've got ourselves another great battle brewing here for the lead. Looks like Ryan Newman making his way down pit road. 20 laps to go. Newman's going to go down a second lap. Might even be a third lap. As this battle is absolutely insane.
They are indeed cooking.
97 thought about making a move to the inside, couldn't.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where it's like, do I make the move? Do I feel like wrecking right now? I'll slow down.
Still plenty of time to go. As we get some great drone camera footage here. This battle has been intense all race long. Looks like Scott Leonard heads down pit road now. We're getting close to our pit window. As we have some trouble. 15 of Ryan Newman. Oh, gets off track. Oh boy. Wow, he still made the corner. That is impressive. As Garrett Austin behind him gets a little squirrely. Deus gets squirrely too.
Yeah, that was almost real bad for Deus.
And here comes Ryan Shelton, first of the leaders to blink. Shelton makes his way down onto pit road. He'll stop in his box. He will take tires. So Martin Plute goes around Shelton. Here comes Chris Darling as well. So 97 down and away. 19-second pit stop, so he might have gotten some damage fixed as well. Here comes Reese Bogue into the final corner. I would assume Bogue is going to make his way down pit road. Yes, he does.
Yeah, that would have been perfect timing for that caution to come in for him in hopes that it slows down everybody else.
For sure. As here goes Bogue into his box. Crew going around to the right-hand side. That's not a great camera angle. Crew on to the left-hand side now, and he's down and away. 14.8 second stop. So Bogue able to keep the lead. Martin Plute down on pit road. There's Shelton. So by staying out that extra lap, Bogue was able to pick up almost a 7-second lead over Shelton.
Which is wild.
Matt Allen on pit road. Garrett Austin in as well. Stacy Hunter getting ready to come down pit road. As Allen is down and away. So Garrett Austin going to be pulling away here in P10. As just behind him, here comes the leader, Reese Bogue. Evan Williams heads down onto pit road. And look at this elevation change. And then watching the leader come flying up and over the hill is absolutely amazing. As here comes the 4 of Bogue, taking a peek to the inside. He does. So we've got 14 laps to go. The yellow could come out at any moment between now and the next 10 laps.
And will it be?
And now I think if I'm Bogue, I'm sitting there saying, all right, maybe I hustle, maybe I put some more cars a lap down. That gives me a free pit stop.
Mm.
And if I'm the only one that pits, oh no, look at me. I'm starting 4th instead of 1st. I'm still on the 2nd row. I can maybe make a move on the leaders into turn 1, maybe cause a little chaos, get a little bump in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Shelton is still making up time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, after a couple laps, he's already picked up 2 seconds. That is the gap as you see the 04 cresting the hill as the 97 is climbing it.
Yes, I don't know if I'd want a chance pitting again, knowing that Shelton's picking up speed pretty quick.
Getting word that the 127 of Matt Allen has a bit of an issue here. And, oh, Evan Williams almost clatters in the back end of him. Right in front of our leader as well.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been great.
Colton Easterday heading down pit road eventually. If the camera wants to change, that would be super nice. There we are. Now we're back live. There's Easterday. Branson heads down pit road too. Some interesting strategies going on here. Now the gap has shrunk 4.5 seconds between Bogue and Shelton. And oh yeah, these two are still fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Plute just barely trailing Chris Darling. About 0.4 of a second between these drivers.
Man, good thing is those orange cones aren't real.
Yeah, there have been a few times where, well, let's just say those cones would be gone as we see Darling take out some more. We were told by Chris just to say, hey, for the next restart, let's just keep the camera away from him just in case. After last week's excursion on the initial start of the race, Chris was saying, man, that was that was tough. Out front, the gap has shrunk to 2.6 seconds between Bogue and Shelton. I think Shelton might be, or Bogue rather, might be trying to save a little bit of fuel.
That's got to be the case. I think he's figuring, there's going to be a yellow that comes out. I know we're going to line up again. Why am I going to push myself and waste all my gas and my tires when I can just kind of take it easy? You'll catch me eventually, but there'll be a yellow, and then, I can get back to work.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
You know, Colton
As
off track
Shelton.
again.
Shelton has an issue. 60 goes off. Shelton turns around and makes contact with the 33. So a tough break there for Shelton. He was closing the gap. But now down to a 7-second gap.
Yeah, right. It's like right back where he started.
Yeah. However, the one saving grace that Shelton has is that random stage caution whenever it may be. We're coming down 8 laps to go.
Gotta be in the next 5.
That is for sure. As one car on the track is 1 lap down, that's the 71 of Stacy Hunter. So should that yellow come back, Hunter will get the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap. Here's Easterday trying to make a move on the 34. Garrett Austin. And as we said, Hunter, the only car 1 lap down. It's like there might have been an issue here. Hunter spins it sideways. The 92 just barely avoids. But Denton County carpet cleaning machine back facing the right direction. As Evan Williams, you see in the background, goes off track. Now it's just a race of attrition. Coming to 6 laps remaining here at Knockhill. Should have a yellow sometime within the next 3 laps. But we shall see. This could get interesting, Joe. If this yellow were to come out now, we'd only really have a 2-lap shootout, 3-lap shootout, if that.
Yeah.
So I think the drivers who are on the lead lap all have an opportunity to get this. Unfortunately for Hunter, when that yellow does come out, Stacy's gonna get that lap back. As Ryan Shelton heads down pit road. Trouble for our 2nd place driver. Is Shelton saying we're getting this yellow? I might as well fuel up now and try to jump the field?
Yeah,
Shelton is gonna take that round, those 4 tires.
Yeah, he's taking tires.
So Shelton is gonna come down now. Reese Bogue on the backstretch. He's gonna stay on the lead lap. That is a genius move, and the yellow's out.
And there it is.
If that move works, Ryan Shelton has the genius galaxy brain move of the race. Wow. Shelton absolutely saw that and said, you know what? This yellow is going to come out at some point. I'm going to go down, get fresh tires now so I can start first when we restart. And go at it from there. This changes everything. As Bogue has caught the leaders. Let's see if we can get a poll up in the YouTube chat, and let's see who you think is going to be winning tonight's race. Will it be Bogue, Darling, Plute, or Shelton, or Hunter?
I was going to say, or Hunter.
However, the downside is Hunter is going to have to start on the tail end of the field behind all the drivers who are multiple laps down. Unless there's some wave arounds and all that sort of thing. But this could be interesting. We don't see Darling in the picture yet. Chris Darling just now catching up with the field. So let's see, is Reese Bogue going to head down pit road? No, Bogue is going to stay out. No, oh, no, nope.
He thought about it.
Thought about it.
He psyched out everybody.
Heads down. Garrett Austin heads down. Martin Plute heads down. There's Evan Williams heading down as well. So Martin Plute decides to pit.
See, I think this goes back to Bogue. He was saving his tires. He was saving his gas. And maybe he thinks there's not a lot of wear on the car. We should be all right.
Man, I don't know. I think if I'm Bogue, I probably would have pit there. There's only 4 drivers on pit road or on the lead lap. 5 counting the 71 who's coming by now to get the lucky dog. I feel like if I was the 04, I'd say, you know what? I'm going to restart in second in row 2 anyway. But I mean, at the same time, we're looking at like it could be like we're getting an overtime finish.
Yeah.
So, man, this is going to get hairy when we get back green. And a great time there for Plute to come down, get as much damage fixed as he can. Stan Hausman in the chat saying it's a restart with Chris Darling on the front row. Good luck. Well, back in a different league, they used to have a kazoo for Chris Darling every time he'd come down and nail his pit box. Chris was saying, well, we should probably graduate the kazoo from pit stops to restarts. As this is going to be interesting. Oh, Newman spins in the background.
You know,
Joe,
if you look at the back of the cars, almost all of them have driver's side bumper damage.
If we said, look at this car, you'd probably say they've been racing at Martinsville or Bristol, not at a road course. This is going to be intense. Field coming down the back straightaway, getting ready to go green in overtime.
I think they're trying to bully the pace car.
2 laps to go. Field trying to get the pace car to go a little bit faster. Unfortunately, you have to drive through it. Bogue on the inside. Darling on the outside. 4-car shootout. Green flag in the air. Bogue gets a great start. Darling to the outside. Here comes Shelton poking his nose. Oh, Shelton makes sideways. He gets into Darling. Shelton off track. Darling off track. Both of them going airborne. As Bogue pulls this one out. Darling off track yet again. A couple other cars come together.
Ooh,
as there goes the 19. Shelton having a couple of connection errors. But he's back going. But here comes Reese Bogue to the inside. Through turn 9, Darling sideways.
Came into that real hot.
Able to keep it going. Darling back to 4th. Colton Easterday as well as Tim Branson come together. We're going to keep this one here as Bogue makes his way down. 1.5 laps remain. Flying up through the S's. Oh, Shelton goes off. Ryan Shelton goes off track. That's going to hand P2 over to Martin Plute. And Chris Darling in the mix in third.
Wow.
Reese Bogue driving up the hill for one more time. White flag in the air. Does anyone have what it takes for Bogue, or is Bogue's 5.5 second lead insurmountable? Here comes Bogue through the chicane one final time. Minding his P's and Q's, having himself a good run so far. The gap is 6 seconds. Down the back straightaway one final time. Reese Bogue sees the checkered flag in his future. Bogue drives up the hill. Checkered flag in the air. Reese Bogue is going to win at Knockhill.
What an insane turn of events.
Wow. Martin Plute comes home second. Chris Darling in third. Stacy Hunter down the back straightaway, going to be guaranteed fourth. Ryan Shelton out of the race, but will likely be finishing, I believe, P5. What a tough break there for Shelton. Hunter comes home P4. Everyone else just finishing up as Reese Bogue gets ready to burn it down. So there's your winning moment for Reese Bogue, burning it down up the mountain. Low Country Speed Racer in the chat saying, let's go the Gold Octopus Motorsports. Cheering on Reese. Well, Joe, what do you say we start chatting with a couple of these drivers as we'll show the standings here on the left-hand side of your screen. As we'll try to start pulling these guys into the interview waiting room. And Joe, I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chris Darling.
Hey, Chris, congratulations on your third place victory. Very technical track. You were up against Plute all night. Turn of events, you end up in third. How is this track for you versus what your normal track preferences are?
I mean, this track's really fun, so there's that, but it's really technical, so just a lot of early braking and making sure you come up off the corner fine. But other than that, I'm not very good at road courses to begin with, so I mean, I just try to stick it out and work this time. Definitely enjoyed racing Martin tonight. That was definitely fun. You always know you're gonna get a clean race with him, so yeah, it's always fun racing him.
Awesome. Between your practice runs and your qualifyings, was there anything you kind of learned how to deal with this track going into the actual race?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, it was really important to drive into the braking zones hard during practice just to see how much the wheels were gonna hop. It was really bumpy getting down into the hairpin in turn 9. I think that's the last corner. But yeah, it was really bumpy, so your wheels would hop, and I don't know. I was losing time through there all night. I couldn't really figure it out just because the wheels were hopping. So it's definitely important there. Other than that, not really a whole lot. I mean, it's really technical, but it's still just a regular road course. I mean, eventually we figure it out.
That you did. It seemed like towards the end there, everyone was kind of on a good pace. Congratulations again. Do you have any shout outs for us?
I just want to shout out all the sponsors that keep the lights on. I really appreciate them. I appreciate you guys for broadcasting. Want to give a shout out to Ryan Shelton. He thinks I slowed him up there at the end and kept him from the win, but I don't know. I got in too hot, slid. I don't think I messed him up, but hopefully he's not too mad. It's sort of a running thing with us. So yeah, just moving on next week. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
All right, that was our third place interview with Chris Darling, and our second place driver joining us right now is driver of the number 81 machine, Martin Pluton. Martin, great run out there, second place finish. Talk to us about your race tonight.
Yeah, it was good. Kind of on my own little race there with Chris most of the time, which was fun. Just kept it clean for the most part. But yeah, just kind of tried to keep it on track, and that's where we ended up.
And it looked like you had pitted during that yellow just to grab fresh tires. Do you think that was a help to you tonight?
No, it was. I was going to do the opposite of what everybody else did. So those tires take a couple laps to get in, warmed up and everything. I thought on the pace lap, trying to catch up to everybody, it would warm them up more than it did. So it probably hurt more than it helped. But you got to try something different. It was never going to catch Reese or Ryan on pace, that's for sure.
And taking a look next week, going from the short road course here at Knockhill to IRP next week, bit of a difficult track, just running the high line and that sort of thing. Tell us about that one, and what do you think your chances are there?
Well, probably not great, since I don't know that I've ever raced at IRP. So we'll have to do some practice this week. Have to look at the track. I know roughly what it looks like. It's an oval, which is better than this week. So we'll take a look and see what we can do next week.
Fair enough. And Martin, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for everybody, all the sponsors, Golden Octopus, everybody who helps do this league. Chris, I had a lot of fun listening to Ryan today because he was helping a little bit with just some pointers. So that was nice to have in the chat. And you guys for broadcasting. It's always fun to go back and watch these. You guys do a great job. So I'm excited. I heard something about a drone cam, so I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
It was used quite a bit tonight, especially in that final hairpin for sure. But Martin, congrats on the second place finish, and looking forward to chatting with you next week at IRP.
All right, see you guys next week.
All right, that was our second place finisher, Martin Plute. And Joe, I believe you've made it down to victory lane, and you're joining Reese Bogue, our winner of tonight's race.
Hey, Reese. Congratulations on the victory. We thought there was going to be a wild shootout at the end there, but looks like Sheldon had a bit of an incident. What section gave you the most trouble today?
I would say probably I think it's turn 8, like the second to last corner there, like that right-hander before the sweeping left-hand straightaway there. That and then the last corner, just getting in. Ryan was better than me all the night on brakes, and I couldn't really get in or get off that I think whatever it is, turn 7 or 8 corner there. Just I couldn't really get off good there, but I get off good everywhere else. So it kind of evened out in the end. But I would say definitely the last 2 or 3 corners. That was my weak place, but my strong suit was definitely the first 3 or 4. I just kind of knew where to push and how to use the gas to get the car to turn and do what I wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure. How difficult was it to kind of make those clean passes with such a tight turning kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it was real difficult. Just trying to get lap traffic in the right spot, or trying to just not get into each other's. It was hard. Just the way the track is set up, I kind of feel like it's for um, open wheel or go karts. People call them. I would call them like legend cars, stuff like that. Maybe like the F3s, just stuff like that. So for a stock car, definitely it was really skinny. That didn't help. But just, I mean, I think it's a mile and a quarter. I mean, it's shorter than half the tracks that these normally run on. So it's real tight. But just timing it and trying to get through cleanly with lap cars is really the big challenge tonight.
Definitely was. That hairpin was insane. Do you have any shout outs for us?
Yeah, want to give a shout out to McConey Setup Shop, all the gold Octopus guys. Richard Regan came over in the last about 5-10 laps and kind of guided me through, spotted me there, like good old times back in real life. But a little bit of a break there, but felt good to have it back in my ear. And yeah, just thank you guys for putting this on, and thank everybody for watching.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again for the victory, and good luck next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. See you guys then.
All right, that will do it for our finishing interviews tonight. And we'll take a look now at the final results for the Aces Axes Grand Prix here at Knockhill Speedway. Reese Bogue is going to walk away with the win. Martin Plute second, Chris Darling in third. Stacy Hunter, fantastic run for that 71 machine, comes home in fourth. Ryan Shelton, a tough break, having an issue with 2 laps to go, finishes P5. Matt Allen in sixth. Colton Easterday, seventh. Garrett Austin, eighth. Tim Branson, ninth. Evan Williams in 10th. Scott Leonard finishes 11th. Ryan Newman in 12th. Sidarius Deus in 13th. And Jason Schue rounds out this 14-car field tonight. And a very, very fun one here at Knockhill. Well, Joe, next week, heading to Indianapolis Raceway Park. IRP, I think it's called Lucas Oil Speedway now. Very fun short track. The high line is used more often, so the drivers are going to be racing up against the outside wall the whole time, not really venturing down low unless they're trying to make a wild pass. So that is going to be a ton of fun for these drivers, and I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Definitely. It should be a lot of fun.
But as always, I think that's going to wrap things up for us tonight. Taking a look at the rest of our broadcast schedule here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. We've got the Tabletop Trio Podcast tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on both Twitch and YouTube. We're going to break down some of the action that we saw this week on the league races between the Speed Xfinity Series and the Total Nonstop Racing League on Monday nights. You could also join us next Monday night for TNR, and Tuesday night right here, 9 o'clock, for the Speed Xfinity Series. So for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been the Speed Xfinity Series live from Knockhill Speedway. Have a great night.